couple of about 4 weeks now. We've been doing IELTS. Sorry, about 2 weeks of 4 lecture series. We've been on IELTS writing. So tonight we're going to IELTS reading. Tonight's lecture, well, let me see how it goes, because I am going to introduce the reading and talk about the things or the different things I would be teaching on the IELTS reading. Okay, so now I will be transiting to my lecture slide, but I want to confirm that everybody's audio is perfect and you can hear me from your end. Okay, is your audio okay so that I can transit now? Mr. Akiola Ajayi, is your audio okay? Okay, I can't hear you actually. I think let me just unmute for the time being, then okay, Mr. Akiola Ajayi, is your audio okay?
Very, very okay. It's okay.
Tolu Walope.
Very okay, sir.
Okay, Oma Yemi. Did I call your name right? Is it Oma Yemi or Oma Yemi?
I can hear you, sir.
Okay. Apology.
Omoyemi.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Apology, can you hear us? Okay, I know that some people will join us along the line. Let us kick on because it's 9:02 now. Okay, I'll be doing the IELTS reading. So I'm going to be starting. Okay, I will be teaching. Hello, can you see me? Okay, I will be teaching the IELTS reading under 3 topics. I'll be teaching the structure of reading. Then under the structure of reading, I will be explaining how to read effectively. I know that most of us have experienced different explanation about how to effectively read, but I'm going to show you what I have used for students and have yielded outstanding result for most of our students in the physical class. And I'll be talking about the question types. I'm going to be describing the question type and giving detailed information about the question type and how to go about tackling the question types. Then I'll be giving strategy and tips for true, false, not given question. Okay, in the question type, I'll be paying or laying emphasis on matching task, because I know that is one of the tasks IELTS read, and also the true, false, not given. Okay. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so now I will be transiting into the proper lecture. Okay. Sorry. So this is the first part of it, which I have said the structure of the reading, and particularly I want you to be able to read effectively, because it is one of the main challenge of IELTS reading. A lot of people find it cumbersome and challenging, and I've seen that a lot of online lectures or materials you can find are saying that you need to skim to read and things like that. But actually, that is not my own recommendation. My recommendation is that you need to read effectively. You need to master this strategy that I'm going to introduce to you. It will be cumbersome at first, but if you pay attention, you will be able to get it properly. Okay, I said the first thing you need to do is when you are, every reading passage is particularly broken into paragraphs. So, and I said every paragraph has two or three main features, characteristics. Every paragraph in Ielts reading. Okay, and I have, let me use my cursor to annotate so that you can follow properly. So I said the structure of text, every text is broken into paragraph, and each paragraph is broken into three main structure. Sometimes it could be two, but the first thing is the topic sentence. That is the main idea. That is, what is the paragraph talking about? Then the second part is the key actions or key actors. Key action or key actors are things that possibly try to illustrate or describe the main idea or give a vivid explanation about the main idea. Then the next thing you will see possibly is examples of validation. Okay, sometimes the line between key action actors example of validation is blurred, but you think that they are the same. So the key most important things that you need to look for are the main idea. So as you are reading, you will say, okay, what is this passage talking on, this paragraph all about? What is the main idea? Then what are the key actions that are mentioned? Okay, now I will go into a sample paragraph now. One thing I want you to do as you are reading is on the side, you write main idea. If you have located the main idea, then the key action, you write it. Okay, so now let me go to this paragraph, a sample paragraph. This is a sample paragraph. Okay, and according to this paragraph, it's saying Americans are generally known for having a positive outlook on life. But with the countdown for November's presidential election now well on the way, polls show voters are hungry. This may explain the success of non-mainstream candidates such as Republican Donald Trump and Democrat Bernie Sanders. Okay, but what is fueling the frustration? I've been able to highlight some key things. Okay, then let me highlight another part. Have a positive outlook towards life. Okay, one thing you note about this word is that it's showing a mood. Okay, so this paragraph is particularly talking about the mood of Americans. Okay, initially they had positive outlook towards life. Now they are hungry, and there is the question, what is causing their frustration? Okay, so this paragraph is about changing Americans' mood. Okay, the key things that happen there is that the change in their mood has led to the emergence of non-mainstream politicians. And the example are Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders. So if I want to highlight, let me indicate another slide so that you can possibly know how to take a note. Main idea. It's about the mood of Americans. You can say the change in mood, Americans. So the thing is that you need to highlight it in your own word, change in mood of Americans. So what happened inside? Okay, non-mainstream politician emerging. Okay, Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders. Under exam condition, you might just Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders. Okay, these are the key things that happened in that paragraph. So the main idea, key action and key actor, what was the key thing that happened? Okay, then example, validation, Donald Trump, emergence of Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders. Okay, one thing you need to note is that there can be, no matter how complex a paragraph is, if you are able to decode what the main idea is and the key things that happen, questions are normally targeted at main idea and the key things that happen. When we get into the question type, most especially matching task, those who have done the exam before, you know what I call matching task. Those who have not done before, I'm going to give you an idea about what matching task question looks like. Okay, then other questions like multiple choice questions will tackle things like key information or key things that happen. So this systemic way of reading will help you so much. Now, I want to go into immediately one of the things, let me go back to my initial slide. On reading each paragraph, summarize into these key formats. You might say, do we have time for such? Yes, you do. If you're able to read and say, I want to break it down into 3 parts, under a minute or a minute and a half, you will overcome a paragraph. Okay, so that is it. Okay, so after summarizing, which are indicated here, I recommend after every paragraph, you go to the question to see which question can be answered. Because if you race through all the passage, there's the possibility that you will omit something, but you are more accurate after reading a paragraph and you scan through the question to see which one has been answered. Okay, now, so I will do just that. Now, I will move to the question. Okay, these are the attending questions that follows that paragraph. Question 1, this is a fill in the gap question, sentence completion. Okay, so conductor poll in December said that most Americans are dashed with the way things are going. From the paragraph we just read, question 1 was not attended to. Question 2, many people are angrier than a year ago, particularly, none of such was mentioned. So you discover that this paragraph has not attended to any of the questions. You need to move to the next paragraph. And this is the next paragraph. Okay, I'm going to read the next paragraph now, just with the same format I gave you, the main idea, key actions and key actors, then examples and validations. Okay, according to this paragraph now, it said a CNN ORC poll carried out in December 2015 suggests 69% of Americans are either very angry or somewhat angry about the way things are going in the US. And the same proportion, 69%, are angry because the political system seems to only be working for the insider with money, power, money and power, like those on Wall Street or in Washington, according to NBC Wall Street Journal poll from November. If you are looking at this passage, what is the passage talking about? The passage is giving us the statistics of Americans that are hungry. Because if you look at it very well, the first statement is saying one poll shows that this percentage of Americans subdivided them. Okay, the next one is saying the same portion are angry for a certain purpose. So this particular paragraph is talking about, okay, statistics or a breakdown of, somebody can say statistics, someone else can say a breakdown of or segmentation of Americans according to their level or of anger. Okay, so let's now read the last sentence. Okay, many people are not only angry, they are angrier than they were a year ago, according to an NBC Esquire survey last month, particularly Republicans, 61%, somewhat white people, 54%, but also 42% of Democrats, 43% of Latinos, and 33% of African Americans. So don't be bogged down by the numerous information they gave you. The thing there is that you have an idea of the paragraph, the main idea, breakdown of the statistics of Americans that are hungry. The first part was talking about percentage of them. The second part was talking about why some of them were angry. Those are the key actions and key actors. Validation now comes in the format of breaking them down into parties and even into their races, which is Republican, Democrat, Latinos, African Americans, and whites. Okay, so if I have to summarize this paragraph now, let me summarize it so that you can easily get it. The reason for summary is that if you read a particular paragraph, you go to the question and you summarize, the summary will quickly lead you to the paragraph so that you won't be reading the paragraph over and over again. Okay, because one of the major problems candidates face in reading is because you read twice. When you start reading twice, your time is against you. So that's why I am so much against those who said skim read. If you skim read and you have to read again, then that's a pretty waste of time. So let me summarize it. This one is, the main idea is statistics of angry, let me just put it like this, angry Americans. Okay, key action. Why Americans are angry. Okay, then validation or example. It's about percentage of anger according to party or race. So you need to quickly summarize validation. So, okay, those are the key things that happen inside that paragraph. Now, let us go into the passage, into the question. Okay. Conducted poll in December says most Americans are dash with the way things are going. Okay, so this question is filling the gap. Most Americans are dash. If you know, the main idea is statistics of anger, why Americans are hungry. So most Americans are angry because that summary has picked it, why Americans are angry. So we note that place. It says, and same proportion are angry because, okay, now let's go back. Okay, we are looking for the way things are going. Okay, this is the way things are going. So it is not in the second statement. I thought it was in the second statement. Okay, they are angry with the way things are going. So angry is the answer to this place. So because it is here, hungry. Because the question I didn't bring about the theme. So you can pick somewhat angry. You can pick angry. If the question instructions say pick one word, you have to pick angry. If it allows you to pick more than one word, then you have to pick somewhat angry, because that's it. But it summarizes, because it's talking about very angry and somewhat angry, it's better to pick the central word, which is angry. Okay. Question 2, many people are angrier than a year ago, particularly. Who are those people? Many people are angry than a year ago. Okay, look at it. It said many people, that's the statistics of anger, are angry, are not only angry, they are angrier than a year ago. Okay, so that's it. Many people are angrier a year ago, particularly who? It says particularly Republicans. Okay, so that is the way to go about reading. You need to properly break it down so that you can quickly locate your answer when you get to the question, instead of reading all over and all over and over again. Now, I still want to use another paragraph to serve as an example that this method will work for you. You only need to get used to it. And I must say, initially, you might struggle. One of the ways not to struggle is, what are the keywords that are repeated? If you look at this paragraph now, they kept repeating 60-something percent, 69%, very angry, somewhat angry. Okay, so it came here 61%, 54%. So it is talking about a breakdown of anger, people's anger. So even if you are confused about the passage, look at the keywords that are repeated in that paragraph. They will show you the central idea of the paragraph. So if you are confused about how to break them down, look at the keywords. Now, let me use another paragraph. I'm going to use this paragraph, and after, we will ask questions. I want us to ask questions so that I won't just be racing along. Or better still, let me open the way for us to ask questions now, so that I won't just be going on without knowing if you understand or not. Okay. If you have a question, please ask. Before I go
on a meeting. You're on mute now.
Hello. 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 Okay, I'm not hearing, I'm not getting any question or feedback, so I will assume we are all getting, and I can just go ahead. Okay. Let me assume we can all get me. So I will have to go ahead now because I didn't get any response. Okay, so I said I would be using another paragraph or another passage now to explain what I just said. Okay, this is a passage. This is just because the paragraphs are short. I now have to. Hello. Okay, because the paragraphs are short, I decided to take about 3 paragraphs at a go. The same way you've done to 1 paragraph, you can read all the 3 paragraphs the same way and format. Okay, the topic is alphatansia, a life without mental images. Okay, he said, close your eyes and imagine walking along a sandy beach and then gazing over the horizon as the sun rises. How clear is the image that springs to mind? Okay, he said most people can readily conjure images in their head, known as their mind eye. But this year, scientists have described a condition, alphatansia, in which some people are unable to visualize mental image. If you look at what has been happening through this part, one thing keep occurring: image, mind. So this passage is talking about mental image. And we've been informed that some people have mental imaging, some people cannot imagine things. So those are the 2 key actions that happen. It's about mental imaging. Irrespective of how the passage started, that it was posing a question to you. Okay, close your eyes, try to imagine things. The passage is about mental imaging. Some people can imagine, some people cannot. Those who cannot imagine things are believed to have what is called alphatansia. Okay, now let's go to the next paragraph. Neil Kumar from Lancaster has always had a blind mind's eye. This is an example, a validation. So he knew he was different even in childhood. My stepfather, when I couldn't sleep, told me to count sheep, and he explained what he meant. I tried to do it and I couldn't, he says. I couldn't see any sheep jumping over fences. There was nothing to count. Okay, so this passage is saying, okay, mental imaging, some people can imagine, some people cannot imagine. Now, someone, example was given, he can't imagine. He can't even count or imagine sheep. So, if I have to summarize, mental image, key action, key actor, the key action was some people can imagine, some cannot, and an example was mentioned. Okay, so that's the way to go about reading your passage. Okay, someone sent a chat to me. Maybe you wanted to communicate. Okay, I am sharing my screen. Let me unmute because can you see my screen? Because I am sharing the screen.
No, what I'm seeing is the former one, the sample passage 2.
Okay, the one I'm just reading about alphatansia.
Yes, I can't see that one.
You can't see. Is it darkness on your side or what? Because this is it. Right on my
It's the same thing here too. It's the same thing here too. I can only see sample paragraph. Yes.
Okay, let me do something now. I will try to. How is it now?
Still the same.
It's still the same sample paragraph 2.
Okay, still okay. Maybe there's a problem of the slide transiting. How is it now?
Yes, we have gotten it.
Okay, yes, it's in down.
It is now on. You can see it now.
Yes, we can, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, this is the sample paragraph. It said, close your eyes and imagine walking along a sandy beach and then gazing over the horizon as the sun rises. How clear is the image that's in your mind? Okay. I said, if you are having problem with the numerous word being used by the narrator or the person who is trying to, who wrote the essay, one thing is, what are the constant words that keep coming up? Image kept cropping up in this passage. Okay.
Sir, please unmute us so that we can hear you. Some people are making noise that's interfering with the background.
Okay, I'll have to mute for that to mute their background.
Yes, please, we don't mind.
Okay, so this is it. I said, this passage is saying, close your eyes, imagine walking along a sandy beach and then gazing over the horizon as the sun rises. How clear is the image? Irrespective of the distraction that the writer has created, how clear is the image? One thing I have said is that even if the passage is confusing, look out for the words that keep popping up. Most people readily conjure image in their eyes, known as the mind eye, in their head. But this year, scientists have described a condition, aphantasia, in which people are unable to visualize mental image. It has happened like 4 times now. So this passage, is about mental imaging. Some people can imagine, some people cannot imagine. And they gave an example of someone that cannot imagine. So they are narrowing it down to people who cannot imagine in particular. Okay, so no matter how cumbersome a paragraph is, break it down. What's the main idea? If you are confused, what word is being repeated over the passage? That will make you to understand what they are talking about. Okay, so that's the way to read our passage. When you master it, I want to open unmute again so that we can talk. But please, those who can reduce, if you can reduce your background noise, please do that. I am particularly sure that this method works because I have trained people who have scored 5, 5.5, 6 before, and after the training, they scored 8.59. Yes, that's why I know it works. Initially, it will be difficult if you are not used to comprehension. But once you are used to it, what you are looking out for while reading is what is the main idea of this passage? What are the key actions or people or things that explain the main idea? So this passage is about mind imaging. Some people can imagine, some people cannot imagine. Whatever question you are asked, if you are able to break it down into that, whatever question you are asked, you can quickly race into the breakdown you have done to quickly locate where the question is, instead of reading and reading all over again. So now I want to go to the question that follows. Okay, the question that follows is one of the questions that, yes, is a true false not given question. But though I will not be treating true false this evening, but what I would like to do this evening is that, can you locate where the question is in the passage? Okay, this one is aphantasia. That was what was introduced to us. Some people were where people cannot imagine things. Okay, which describe people from whom it is hard to visualize mental image. Okay, so please let me mute again. The background is affecting us. Okay, So this is the question. Alphatansia is a condition which describes people from whom it is hard to visualize mental image. So now let me go to the passage, though I didn't summarize, but I can quickly know where it is. Okay. This is the place, Alphatansia, in which, because I know that the passage is about some people can visualize, some people cannot. So, and those who cannot are time to have, okay, Alphatansia, in which some people are unable to visualize. That's where the question comes from. So, forget the fact that all the options here have been clicked as true. That's not the answer. Though this question particularly is false. Okay? Those who have written the exam before might know why it is false. Some people might be confused where it is false. But I will still treat true, false, not given question. What I am doing tonight is understand how to read properly within a short time. Immediately you are reading the paragraph, what is coming to your mind is what's the main idea. The next thing is what are the key actions and key words or key actors. The next thing is, are there example, name, or information given to buttress what has been said? Okay, so from the two passages or three paragraphs that we've read, they all follow the same format. Every IELTS passage follows that format. So I am going to unmute again to see if there is any question. Hello? So if you have any question, please. Any question?
Why is the answer false, please? The number one question.
Okay, I will quickly give you the answer, but while I'm treating true, false, not given, I will try to explain. The thing about true, false, not given is that you are asked if that statement was actually written in that format in the passage. So according to the question is saying Alphatansia is a condition which describes from whom it is hard to visualize mental image. So let's go. The passage is saying Alphatansia in which some people are unable. So the thing there is that the keywords that were used, Alphatansia, describe people hard to visualize. The passage said unable. Unable and hard are two different words. We can't replace one another. So unable, it is possible. Hard does not mean impossible. Hard means it is difficult but not impossible. So that's why it is false.
Okay.
It is that particular word that was replaced that does not properly replace one another that made it a falsehood.
Okay.
Go into a detailed lecture about true, false, not given, because it's an area that I know because IELTS questions was not given a matching task is always about half of the exam. Okay, so that's the reason why it is. But one of the thing I want us to capture tonight is how to read effectively. So I want you to go to your practices and test this method. Initially, you might waste time, but with time, you will master it.
Exactly.
Yes. The only thing is that after you have read this way, you won't read twice. Once you have a question, because you have a summary breakdown of the whole passage, you can easily locate where the answer is. That's the point this way, so that you don't, when you locate where the answer is, you just read that portion and go and answer your question. Okay, so I hope this will help by the example I have given. Whatever the passage, all the passage you are seeing here are past questions of IELTS. every of the passage, whether the one I screenshot or the one I copied directly on the slide, they are all past questions of IELTS exam. So they all follow the same format. Okay, before I go this evening, I would just like to introduce us to something briefly. If you don't have a question, I want to.
Sorry, my question is.
Okay.
For me,
I just have a question.
My question is that when I apply this method, I notice that I'm always far behind time, like 15 minutes behind time. So I get to wonder, how will I now cope with this during the exam?
When you are 15 minutes behind time, fantastic.
Yes, as an extra time.
How many practice have you done?
So far, I think I've done like 3 of it though, just 3.
If you want to score like 8.59, if you come to physical class, before you finish the physical class, you will do at least 10 to 12 passages.
Wow, okay.
Yes, so I encourage you to do more passages to be able to master the method. Every student that we've taught have attested to the fact that it is faster and better. At the initial stage, you will struggle with time. I won't lie to you about that.
Yes.
Yes, but you will be more accurate. The thing
exactly.
You
Yes.
will be more accurate. The thing now is that you want to master how to use your time. So immediately you are reading any passage, the first thing is, what's the main idea of this paragraph? The second thing is, what are the key things that happen? Forget all the English that they use to embellish it. You are looking for the key thing that happened. That's just all, the 2 things you are looking for. Because most of your questions are directed at the key things that happened. If they are asking you sentence completion, they will ask you the particular information that happened. And one thing I normally recommend before reading a passage, please first of all go to the question.
Okay.
When you go to the question, you understand what the question format is. If you are going to sentence completion, you know that they will be targeting specific information in the passage. If you are going to multiple choice question, they will be targeting specific information. If it's a matching task, let me show you an example what a matching task is. So those who have done before will understand, but some people might not understand even the question format. This is matching. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, whenever you see a paragraph that is labeled A, B, or C, or 1, 2, 3, the matching task question will be asked in that passage. That is, they might ask you what the main idea of the passage is. The question will come like this. If you look at this question, this is question 14. Question 14 is saying jailbreak with creativity. So it wants you to locate which passage summarizes, or the main idea is jailbreak with creative thinking, or which passage mentioned that statement. Okay, so when you first of all check the question and you know that this is a matching task question, and they said jailbreak with creativity. If you look at the question, it said reading passage 2 has 8 paragraphs, A to H. Match the heading below with the paragraph. So it's more like a heading, more like a summary point of each paragraph. So if you know how to read with main idea in mind, you will easily get all the matching task questions. The next lecture will be about matching task, question type, and I'm going to treat this matching task and other question types. Okay, so just practice more.
Okay.
Yes, practice more and speed up. Main idea, key action, key example. Then go to the question. Don't read all the passage before you go to the question. The first thing, go to the question first, then go to the passage. After reading each paragraph, go to the question.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, any more question? Any more question, please?
Not from my end anymore. I think you've addressed the
Okay,
area I needed clarification on.
okay. Let me quickly race through. It's I will be finishing in the next rounding off in the next 5 minutes thereabout, because I don't want you to be tired. I'm going to be keeping this reading under three topics, and I have done one today. The most important one, especially, is how to read effectively, because of time. You don't want the writer to waste your time, and that's the best way. What is the main idea? What is he talking about? What is it talking about? Is it talking about sickness? Is it talking about disease? Is it talking about business? Is it talking about buying and selling? Is it talking about crime? That's what you are looking for. Forget all the grammar, the English, the big thing that the person is trying to use. So that is the thing, so that you don't get tied with words like that. Okay, so I want to just quickly go into one question type, so that you can have an idea of what the next lecture will be like. Okay, this question type is what I call, the first question type I'm treating is classifying information. This question in particular is a whole passage or is written and there are contributors. I mean, maybe 3 or 4 people talked, made comment throughout the whole passage, and all the commentators, those who contributed in that passage, all the commentators, they will be labeled A, B, C. And in some cases, if no comment is ascribed to anyone, they will say D. So this is how the passage will look like. Steve Wise, who launched the petition, was driven by a Times investigation which claimed that women and girls are charged on average 37% more for clothes, beauty products, and toys. The investigation was inspired by research in the US, which found that women products are routinely more expensive than men's. The New York's Department of Consumer Affairs had compared the price of 800 products with male and female version and concluded that after controlling for quality, women's version were on average 7% more expensive than men. This passage, the main idea is about the fact that women's products are more expensive than men in the US. Okay, somebody launched the petition. Some people have done investigation, the Times investigation, New York Department. Okay, those are the key things that happen in the passage. Okay, now if we move to the question 29, this is classified information. Call a debate on the issue. There was no part of that passage that said someone called a debate. Okay, so that question is not answered. Possibly in the subsequent paragraph, it will be answered. Launched a petition. Petition was mentioned. That's why I said key action. And if we go back, Steve Wise launched a petition. So when you go to that place, the option is Steve Wise, A. So question 30 is A. So you can see that that method will work for you if you start using it. Okay, so For tonight, I will be calling it a lecture day. But the most important thing is learn how to read effectively. Okay? This method will be hard at first, but practice, painstakingly practice. So, and it's worth it. Okay, someone is raising up his hand, has a question. I don't know, maybe you are just doing that. Okay, let me unmute if you have a question. Okay. After you raised up your hand.
That was a while ago.
That was a while ago. I'm just noticing it on my screen here. Okay, no problem. If you have any further question, before we round up for tonight, please ask.
Please, I want to clarify this. Does it mean that we have to read the 3 passages given to us, like for the academic reading stuff? We have to read the whole 3 passages. We shouldn't do any skimming and scamming, because I think that doesn't.
The truth is that I don't believe in skimming and scam. One thing, because everybody I've known that skim and scam say they read like 3 times, 2 times.
Oh, I actually did. I was doing skimming and scamming, and I won't lie to you, it has been very bad for me.
Yes.
My last score was 6.0, but when I just realized this your method, I just used it for just 3 passages that I started, like, let's say 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I saw great improvement, though I was lagging in time.
Yes,
I was.
You might lag.
You won't believe that you won't believe that I was scoring above 35.
Yes.
As in, it was more like I was having accurate answers,
yes.
But it's just the timing that I need to work on for now.
Yes.
So I also recommend.
It is the time. Yeah. And I won't lie to you, because I have trained. I think even when I started training this the Ielts myself, though I had a problem with the skimming and scamming, I asked students to do this method and read the whole paragraph or passage before going to the question. But I discovered that if you go to the question immediately after reading each paragraph, you are faster. Though you will flip through your paper many times, but you are more accurate. So the only thing that this method needs is that you need to now start managing your time.
Yes.
Yes. And for me, if you do 35 that you are sure of, it's better than skimming that you have to repeat and repeat.
Yes, even the skimming makes you tense. Your head is crowded.
You start looking for information all around the place. And
exactly.
There's somebody here, Afyong. I think I've trained some people from old that were ex-colleagues. Someone came, she has written the exam 3 times, scoring 6. She wrote it and scored 9.
Wow.
Yes, because I told her, initially she struggled with the method too. And of recent, I hardly see someone that scored less than 8 because this method works. Okay, so that's it. It's just going to task you and task your brain, because the first thing is that what's the main idea, irrespective of all the expressions and grammar that the person is blowing. What is the main idea? What are the key things that happen inside? So that is it. So any other question or clarification? Okay, so in the absence of no question or clarification, so I will say good night to everyone. Thanks for joining me.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Okay. Someone is...
This is Bola Kodri from Ijebode.
Okay, welcome, Mr. Bola Kodri. We spoke during the week.
Yeah. Excuse me, all this scheming, scamming you're talking about, I don't know anything about it too.
You've not done the exam before.
I've not made an attempt of the.
Okay, those who have done the exam before know what is skimming.
I know, because I have a lot of lecture that I listen to on internet. They do talk about skimming, scanning.
After teaching this thing
What?
for some time, I discovered that skimming was not getting students anywhere.
I cannot even use it. To me, I cannot even use it. Because if I look at the way they taught us in secondary school days then, how to answer comprehension.
Skimming and scamming. Somebody is talking.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So that just is. But what I just want to ask you is this. I just need a basic lecture for this exam.
What the basic lecture is what I am providing. As much as.
But I came late. I just log in now.
Yeah. The thing is that you will be getting a link to recording. Yeah, I said you will get a link to the recording. I will send it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, you will get a link to the recording. I always do.
Thank you very much.
We have a YouTube channel because I always record live lectures there, and also some recorded lectures because I do recorded lectures too.
Send me the link. I do check you on Facebook.
I will send you the link, the YouTube channel link.
Okay, thank you
very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Isaac. We're grateful.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. So I will say thank you for joining me, and I hope it's going to help in getting your Ielts right.
Bye, my teacher Isaac.
Okay, so bye.
Thank you, Mr. Isaac. Bye.
When I come your way again.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.